For
I already actually did a Predator,
Oh.
so I can do this one real quick. I'm going to go with Mythic, and I said 16-9.
You're giving them a huge win, even though they're starting on the weak side. That's not.
Yeah, and then after I said that, I thought about it. I was thinking, you know,
You've
it might be a
taken-
little bit closer, but I still think Mythic is going to take it.
So Klops has taken the Michael Jackson glove and slapped Armata in the face. You're watching CEVO TV's coverage of the final regular season game of Season 4. Soon after this, beginning next week, will be the playoffs. But now we see a charge through smoke and a lurk. Look at Rob stepping through, looking for the Boilerman. They have no idea where each other is. Actually, the guy totally knows. He's just having a hard time locating the shot. Finally picks it up. He goes down. The bomb's still available to be planted, which it will be. And I'm just going to call him Shoxy, because I'd rather call him Shoxy. Plants the bomb. BTZ trades. And 2. Looks for 3. Who's... never mind. No good. Drops back into the apartment. This duel right here is looking very CT-sided, though Lex is still alive, and our number 6 is probably who we should follow, is trying to figure out whether or not he can challenge for that bomb plant, because they're actively defusing it now. He's got really no chance. Yeah, like we said.
Yeah, it was planted pretty deep in the site, but I mean, he still had access to get a headshot there, but there was just too many CTs left alive, and I mean, you know, if you don't see a terrorist around, you can pretty much bet he's going to be in the apartments lurking, so it was an easy choice, no, I was gonna say easy round for Armata, but it wasn't that easy. I mean, they did a nice play. They all kind of back to CT spawn, and you had one guy in apartments as they let the terrorists take the site, and they just retook together, and it was effective.
So I've done a little bit of my homework, probably not as much as you. Long distance MP7 shot will bring down Lightworker, who is behind the old red car. I've done my homework, maybe CZ entry on this, and Armata and Mythic kind of run a similar offense, but Armata's so different now that I can't tell you what their offense looks like. Mythic is going to be using a lot of slow defaults, a lot of takes onto the site and trying to get you to rotate across and get an early kill and not really press a 5-on-5 fight or a 3-on-3 fight. They want to make it uneven and lopsided before they take a site. That's probably what they're going to do today, and they're losing a surprise sort of buy round. Did I see a mixed purchase there?
I don't.
Or were those luxury sidearms?
I think they were just luxury sidearms. I saw some CZs, and I didn't see any actual buys, though. They could go for a buy here since they did get that bomb plant on the first round, so we'll see if they do go for that. It looks like they're just going to go for pistols, which is odd. I mean, you do have the money to do that, but I guess they want to save and get the full advantage, maybe pick up an op on the 4th round, and just make sure they have the utility smokes and flashes to take these sites.
I'm always fascinated to see how Armata plays after this roster overhaul, because you don't really know what they're going to do. Is it going to be mostly the same? Is it going to be highly different? I kind of want to know, and we're going to find out after these rounds, which have you know, less to tell you about how offenses and defenses are run. Only one left after an immediate flurry of bullets, and he's going to try to get a one-tap peak 250 kill. Doesn't really matter. He brings down PTZ and gets shot to finish up the ecos. So finally a gun round, and then what are we expecting now?
Well, like you said, you know, from the offense, they like to go try to work around picks and make it lopsided, so they have an easier time of taking the sides, so we should see that, some slow play. I hope we see some well-played smokes, because that always makes taking the sides much easier, and we do see that each member does have one. Yeah, fire. Also another very strong tool, especially when attacking B. You know, you get the fire in the sandwich in the oranges area, that it almost usually nets you a kill if you do 2 of them, so I mean, if there's a CT playing there. But usually, I mean, CTs nowadays play aggressive, so they got to push them off the spot first and get them back into the site.
Yeah, so you'll see right now Armata is somewhat challenging the pressed banana look, and they'll back out to defend the site after an engagement that leaves VTZ a little bit weak. It looks like the bomb, though, back at the end of banana is intended for B. They're still looking for an entry there, and the rest of the Ts just wandering around. Not even at the brackets, with the exception of Lex, who's far up the apartments, maybe intended to be a lurk. I can't really tell his purpose at this moment.
Maybe he might just be trying to get a pick to maybe cause the rotate to go from B towards A, and then they might swing around and go B with that. But
this is going to be a learning experience for the both of us, excuse me, because of how lucky Rob is that BTZ decided to run into his bullets there. 1-1 trade on far sides of the map, and Lex is the one who is shot second. There's the second one. JS is down. Lightworker kills him, and the guy will slide out to try and trade. That could have been a double. Puts the shot over the second player. Steps out. The guy has 2, and it looks suddenly CT-sided. Never mind. Trade back and forth. He wings Abe as he falls down and goes back for the second shot. After the bolt pull, one left for the counter-terrorist will follow Sam Rock, who hears the bomb plant, gets flashed, and while at Moto has nothing to do but fall down and die. Armata surrenders 1, so the score is 3-1.
Yeah, and the guys opping right there just turned that into a very close round. You know, he picked up 3 kills after losing 2 of his teammates, and I mean the favor was there for Mythic, but like I said, his opping just came into play there and really stopped him quite a bit there. But of course, they're gonna have to save regardless, and we're seeing a full 5-man CZ bot here with 3 nades, and it looks like those 3 nades are gonna be going down bananas. So.
They're gonna pinch. There's a lot of aggression here, and the counter-terrorists are running down toward the ramp players. 1 trade thus far, and it's right now it's still a win for the counter-terrorists. Though they're mostly an alternate, the T's are. They've already won a couple of battles. With Rob 2K1 at the bottom of the stairs, he has to call for help from his teammate unless he gets traded in an uneven, lopsided CZ trade. 2 versus 2, and the CTs are weak, but they've really won this round already because of how well they played this eco. So Rob has to clutch, and our number 7 is who we follow. It really doesn't matter who is weak right now, because if they're out of place and he has to guess every corner at what they're hiding, this is a huge disadvantage for him.
Yeah, and you see Sam Rock does have a gun right there, and Romulus should be able to pick one up mid and help his teammate defend there. The bomb is down, so I mean, all Sam Rock and Romulus need to do is sit there and keep the eyes on the bomb and wait for Rob to come to them. So they are looking good right now.
Rob has so little information aside from the bomb and the most recent death of his teammate, so he's scanning every direction, running around, not really running around, walking around the moto, looking at the site, and then the apartments. 2 CTs close to him, and the X-ray gives it away for us. One of the pit, one of the apps. There's the first exchange, and Rob will look toward him. It's a peekaboo game. Who will be able to land this shot? They're teasing him now. With 30 seconds left, they know how weak they are, and they don't want to surrender an instant death, and Rob's reflexes just keep betraying him over and over again. He can't seem to hit that shot in the apartments. Right underneath him at the graveyard. First death, and the teammate that is left in the apartments, well, he's still there, gets smoked out, and Rob will go with a forced plant, it looks like. He sees him drop back by the blue truck and blinds himself with his own flashbang. Romulus comes up, trying to clutch. His opponent is so weak. All he needs is 1 shot. He comes up with the clutch. Rob plants for the, I believe, extra $200. Nope, not enough.
He didn't get it down.
Yeah,
just barely. But I mean, wow, what a play by Rob. I mean, Samrock tried to go for it right there. He tried to push into the cemetery area and get the kill, which could have been a mistake. I mean, they could have just stayed in their spots and played the bomb. I'm not sure why Romulus didn't pick up an AK. There was a bunch down at the T steps, which he was coming from Banana. He could have grabbed one and probably been much more effective in that fight. Unfortunately, he didn't. But I mean, either way, it was a good clutch by Rob.
I think he has to feel so much better about himself after whiffing on those back and forth apartment shots. He was clearly getting visibly frustrated. A couple of nades does a ton of damage to BTZ, who's the sandbag player, and they think that they've pushed up 2 rounds in a row, which they are correct about. Lex comes up looking for Romulus, has his crosshair off center, comes back, flicks toward the head, picks up a very, very handsome looking kill. Now, they think they've backed out, and they've got BTZ pushing toward them, who had a swag. Apparently, at that distance, he must have missed that shot entirely. Otherwise, he would have had a sure kill. Next one's good. Samrock's down, and the T-Forces will now enter a empty bomb site B. Here come the... Never mind, no rotate, because Abe had flashed out and blinded JS. He's got the kill and a headshot. 1 guy left. That's the guy who takes down Abe. Our number 2 is who we follow for the remainder of the round. It's the guy who chooses to go up Banana, and somebody will meet him, no doubt, to cut out the rotate. Actually, he decides not to. He sees that this is not a winnable fight. I'm going to keep this and save this.
Yep, and you see the lurk over at A, but I doubt he'll meet up. I mean, if he goes in the apartments, he has a chance to meet up with the guy based on where he's playing, but I think the guy will be more careful as the time starts winding down. But either way, nice nades by Mythic right there going into B. You had that guy playing pushed up in the sandbag position, and regardless, even if he wasn't in the sandbag position, the way that they Armata has been playing so far, they do play pushed up at that corner, so those nades are going to be effective regardless. So they need to either wait for the pre-nades from the terrorist or play more back into the site and respawn that way. But you know, if they keep playing up close, then they will get punished by those pre-nades.
Like we said, this is going to be a learning experience for us, and what I've gathered thus far from 2 rounds of Mythic with rifles is that they're willing to play a 2 to 3 man aggressive trade look, where they're not breaking with an opening that looks like a single ISO sort of pick, like an AZK on an iBuy power. They'll send 2 up in that choke point and try to be actively trading. I think we're about to see a banana charge. They get stopped just by a nade. So the pressure stops, and they'll stop by the logs and maybe back one out. And that sound of somebody running away may leave, who is that in the logs? That's Samrock, available for an ambush. All the T's bunched up, and they'll be ambushed by a CZ. If only a larger magazine was available for that weapon, Lex will trade him. JS goes down, and some information at least is relayed to the counter-terrorists. 3 versus 4, and Lightworker, that fourth one, is very wounded with only 4 HP. VTZ's the next one to go down near the arch side. Samrock comes back around, just barely misses the vision of his opponents as he turns just a hair too late, and oh my lord. Easy kill for Lightworker, who times that just perfectly. The guy's the last, and he's been literally in this situation not 1 round ago.
Yeah, and even though JS did get all the information that there were 4 terrorists in alternate mid before he died, I mean, the fact that it was a save round, Mythic really wasn't too worried about it, and they decided to keep pressing A regardless. I mean, they took 1 down, so there's only 2 more left, most likely guarding the site, so they figured they could keep going. I mean, if it was a gun round, I mean, they could have probably rotated out and went to B, since they did get a kill over there as well. But yeah, since it was a save, I mean, they didn't really have anything to worry about for the most part.
Can I voice like a slight pain point, a little frustration that I've had with what I've seen from Armata recently? They're pushing, and they've caught Mythic off guard with practically every single push, and Mythic is not getting players eliminated, or excuse me, Armata's not getting players eliminated. They are letting Mythic players retreat, like Lightworker with 4 HP.
I think it's because the fact they're pushing on eco rounds. So I mean, they only have the pistols to work with, and if they don't, get those quick kills, then they aren't able to finish the job. Whereas Mythic has the guns and could just turn and kind of back out and let them come to them, and then they pick up the kills after that.
Perhaps it's just me lamenting missed opportunities. Romulus is pushing aggressively outside of the apartments to move it into the T side of the apps, and take a look at him on the mini-map. He's going to catch Lex, or not, or Lex is just super suspicious of anybody. He might have even heard him running down those wooden planks of the lower apartments. He'll push back into the apps and check if anybody else is in here, but he's already done his job. His work for the round is mostly complete. Unfortunately, Mr. Shakti himself is down. I cannot help but think that's Mark. Please somebody tell me that's Mark.
It probably is, but I mean, there was a 1-for-1 trade. You saw the guy actually picked up a kill through the apartment, so I mean, that's a 1-for-1 trade. They do know that A is light, 2 people, and it looks like they're going to wrap over towards B and press the advantage here, so they know that there's only 2 over here and not a third, so this is where they're going to go.
They've actually begun to slowly abandon A as the fire and smokes come down. BTC's right up against the smoke, picks up a double, and will run back into the fire. Still alive somehow. No, he just dies by being blind and running into fire. That's a horrible, horrible way to die. Look at this. Lightworker chooses to walk through the smoke. Or zero.
Right by Samrock.
Yeah, I walked right by Samrock, but he does pick up JS, and he'll come back for the bomb. Almost lost control of his rifle there. Now he's turned into a 1-on-1. If he clutches on the triple, I will be thrilled, because look how many people were around him. He walked in between everybody and walked out of that one not really alive. The guy will clean up, and he's been alone for a long time as the last player alive, so he probably feels good being able to clutch that.
Yeah, and you see he has $8,000, so I mean his living has gotten him a lot of money here as they're going into these rounds. But yeah, I mean that clutch was definitely doable. He was looking down towards Banana, didn't see anyone, and just forgot to check his back towards CT spawn, and he got caught, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Either way, I mean we're seeing a buy round still going on. Romulus actually kind of low. He only has a FAMAS and some armor, so he's going to be a little light towards A, and if they can see that, then they might take that advantage.
So I keep saying JS, but I know he's Doom clearly, because he's messaging me, and I'm going to interrupt the cast to do something that I don't normally do. Message from Doom: get well, Cecilia, who is sick and apparently not feeling so hot.
Oh yes, get well.
Get well. There you go. 2 kills, and these people are not feeling well. The guy and Romulus are down, and Mythic has brought down 2 early defenders. They're going to move into A, but not bring the bomb there. Take a look at your minimap. That is probably intended originally for B. They pick it up, they'll haul their way over toward A. The posturing of the T's have stopped right around the brackets. They realize that if there's somebody here, it's time for us to turn tail, move back toward B, swing this around, and try to race the rotator from the speedway over. But BTZ is not sold on it. His teammates calling him over, playing at the first oranges. He says, get over here. I need some assistance. I can hear footsteps and flashbangs. I can smell fire and brimstone, so you do all the work. BTZ steps out, picks up a double, almost a triple A this week, and it's up to Samrock. Can't bring down the remaining 2 Mythic players, but that leaves Doom to clean up two pretty weak players. Clutchable situation, and he's nearby. That's the most important thing. He's made this rotate in time. He knows that nade came from the back, brings down the emo player, looks toward the new box, and he seems to know because that nade came from that direction. So he's not even checking other places. All he needs to do is pre-fire to win. Looking for the rifle. There's your double and a triple on the round for Doom. The round we call out. Feel better, Cecilia. You feel better? Does she feel better? I think she feels better.
She should, because, I mean, that round was very much in favor of Mythic. I mean, they got 2 kills over at A, and the rotates came over, and it was 1 man left to defend at B, and they decided to kind of slow take B, which gave time for one of the people at A to rotate over after the nades came down. So, a little bit of a mistake there for Mythic, and so far for Mythic's offense, it looks like they drop the bomb in mid, send 2 up Banana, then 3 towards A, and like you said, work for picks here, and wherever they get a pick, that's where they swing over to. And I mean, it seems to be working out for them, but when they do these swings, sometimes they're going a little bit too slow and giving the CTs time to rotate over and help defend, and that's why we're seeing these round losses every now and then.
Mythic does a very standard pick and roll. It's vanilla. It's very effective, first of all. But when they move to swing back to another location, they stop and almost set up a secondary or a tertiary even set piece where they'll use their smokes and throw their fire because maybe they've seen other teams do it. Maybe they think that players are still there. But that late in the round, players are not in their default positions. Set pieces are less effective statistically. I would almost tell Mythic, if you rotated back, get in the site, go in there and crush everybody.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what they're doing. They're kind of slow on their rotates, but based on how they're playing with the 2-3 split, if Armata started getting aggressive on Banana, I think they would actually have success there if they did a couple pushes here and there throughout the round, because I don't think Mythic is looking for it. I think they expect these guys to be playing defensive positions in B, and so if they switch that up, they'd probably be able to catch Mythic off guard.
Yeah, a stacked A side now. BTZ has rotated back, waiting for his teammate to call him over, and Doom has the first kill. It becomes a crossfire. BTZ will pick up Lightworker as his victim, and the next one is Lex, who comes out as part of the wrap from A. So 1 left, and it happens to be who I think is Mark. Shoxy will pick up the kill, even though I think it is him. That last one gets cleaned up by Romulus, and Armata is starting to build a very, very weak, but it's noticeable lead. Like, I can tell that the money is enough to buy. Anybody can do the basic math, but it's uncomfortable. Yeah,
well, I mean, these round wins that they're getting have not been close by any means. I mean, each round it's, just 1 to 2 people left alive on each side. So the economy game is very, very tight right now. And even though Armata does have the 2-round lead, I mean, they're just barely ahead in terms of money. So yeah, it is rough for them but they do have that lead going. If they can just keep going, I mean, this eco round is a chance for them to build a lead. But as you see, they get nice entries into A and 2 guns, so they are looking good right now. Mythic is.
We love the pain train into A. Lightworker tosses the bomb, says somebody else do this for me. I'm weak, but I have a gun, so I'm just gonna chill here. 3-man retake versus a pretty armorless terrorist team, so doable. And the first one into the site is not successful. Neither is the second if they can bring down Samrock. They do. The last one has to be Doom, which they've identified in the past, and Mythic has closed the gap. Now, we said this at the beginning of the round. They maybe can force, but it is uncomfortable, and I think we're going to see a save.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the cash, look at Samrock, he's at 1,400, the guy 2,300, so yeah, it would not be smart for them to go for a force here. Mythic would just have the clear advantage. And I was honestly surprised that Lightworker stayed alive in that last round. He was at 4 health with the gun. I was thinking, you should probably pass that off to one of your teammates who's full and just go be a distraction. But he just stayed in pit and laid the shots in. What?
We have a huge flank coming. The guy is right next to the first player out in mid. He comes out with only maybe 7 bullets remaining of his initial burst, but that rifle is still available for BTC to pick up. CZ peeked from the window. Abe is getting shot, and this is what Mythic is not adjusting well to. We saw this before when they played against iBuyPower, is that they had a pretty structured offense on Inferno, but when they started getting pinched in their staging areas, they began to fall apart. And maybe Armata's done some homework and looked at some game tape about how to break down their offense.
And we actually saw that. Whoa, sorry to interrupt. We actually saw that window peak before, too, but, I mean, it seems that when Mythic gets into alternate, they're more focused on mid rather than watching the flank, which you gotta be be aware of
We've
that.
got a one-on-one situation here, and Samrock just won the round for his team, a triple while all hiding in the pit. He did the Lightworker thing. The last round, he just made himself scarce and hard to find. Yeah, I did notice that push happened a round ago. And Mythic, for whatever reason, assumed it wouldn't happen again. I think they just forgot their economy. They didn't do their math.
Yeah, I mean, well, either way, you don't need, 4 people or 3 people looking all towards mid. You can have one person, always checking those apartments, because that's just, I mean, that kill shouldn't be happening. But either way, that was an eco round win for Armata. So, I mean, they are, they lost that eco, they got ecoed by Mythic, and then they just re-ecoed them. So, I mean, they are kind of back in it to have potential to take the lead again.
A change of game pace here as the T's have gone with speed. They've already wrapped it. A and Samrock and the guy are rotating in early to make sure that at least they can do some damage and prevent this bomb plant. But it looks like Mark has found his position, gotten to the default, sprayed down Samrock, and turned this into a 2-on-3 with one player blinded by smoke and BTZ by the porch. Unlikely that Armata can win this without some serious heroism. Our number 4 BTZ is the last. He's by Blue Truck and just barely saw Lex cross over. So maybe easy kill for him, but Lex has the more powerful rifle, wins that battle, and it's still just a tight, very close game.
Yeah, constant back and forths. I mean, and we're not even seeing any drastic changes from either teams, honestly. I mean, you do see Armata doing still their pushes with the eco rounds, which you would think Mythic would catch on to that after the 3rd time, or the 2nd time especially. But either way, I mean, it's working for him, and I would guess we'll see it again if maybe on this. No, they're actually they're not pushing, so they kind of learned, hey, we did it 3 times in a row, we need to actually back off it a little bit. So I mean, smart heads up by them, but
they seem to have gotten BTZ by those sandbags every time he does it, and they know his tendencies about when to throw those frag nades. Early kill, and Mythic's Lightworker will be the first one to walk in. He'll walk in hugging. Abe on the flank protection brings down Romulus and the guy, so it looks very favorable for Mythic on this round, even though it's probably a predetermined win if you get all these kills like that. Another eco that didn't go Armata's way. 7-7, we're on to the final round of the half, and it flew by. It really did.
It did. I mean, well, when it's back and forth like that, one team isn't completely dominating, then yeah, you're more invested in the game, and it seems quicker. So, but yeah, it did go by quick, and it is going to be the last round. You see BTZ actually only has a pistol and a kit and armor. At least he picked up a kit, because I mean, you hate to be in those situations when you're the last man alive and you barely had enough money, but you can't defuse the bomb. So he has that going for him at least.
I've been genuinely impressed by Mythic's ability to diagnose what's going on in the banana, and looks like Doom took a risky peek that was punished by Lex, who's been really, really disciplined and looking for players coming through the apartment. So he wins that battle, and Lightworker will join the party and probably come back toward Banana to trade out his teammate Rob, who just went down, picks up a beautiful 4-burst onto VTZ, and another round win developing for Mythic. So they're going to finish this half unless we see... No, never mind. Another round for Mythic, 8-7. They win on the unfavorable T side. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. The second half coming of our final regular season game. Give me your impressions. I didn't have any expectations coming into this game.
Honestly, I feel like it was honestly kind of a little bit sloppy for Mythic. They had multiple rounds where they got into the site, or they got favorable entries, and then they kind of just threw the rounds away. And I think that's what let Armata come back into the game, and they were just making a couple mistakes here and there, and it gave Armata the lead, and then obviously Mythic took it back. But I think that's why it's so close right now. Just a little bit sloppy for Mythic.
Just perhaps a little unorganized is the critical lens of Klops. But for us, we've seen some back and forth here, and it makes for some dramatic watching, at least unpredictable watching. Lex brings down Doom. It's 3 versus 3 with very similar HPs. The bomb is planted, and the T's have shelled up, so no ability to get out into the choke points. They'll be surrounded, corralled, most likely by the CTs as they try to come in. First one that attempted it was Lex. He lost, and the next was Lightworker, and the last to join was Mark. And that's a big, big round on T-side to win.
It really is, especially with how it's going now. They're tied up, and they have the chance to take the advantage here, take the lead with another 2. I'm going to be interested to see what Mythic decides to do for the eco rounds. We did see Armata, they went for the straight pushes.
Look at this buy on Armata. Oh, never mind. It was just it was a delay.
Yeah, they're getting their Galeals. They're going for the rifles. You see JS is actually keeping a pistol, so maybe he's going to opt for an in the fourth round. We'll see about that.
Perhaps. The actual critical piece of this round is to keep an eye on BTZ to make sure that his AK is not taken away, that makes sure that he's protected by support players. Most likely at this level he's going to be. We certainly hope so. We see a stack at bombside B, 4 CTs waiting with bated breath for the Armata players, Samrock and Doom. They'll flash in, check the sandbags, check the wheelbarrow. Nobody's there, but they're about to walk into some serious pain.
Well, I mean, they only have one person peeking up into B, and if he actually continued into the site, he would have got all the information that there is stacked there, and everyone else could have gone to A and got an easy take. So, I mean, of course, you can't always read that, but it looks like they might just be able to walk into A regardless.
Yeah, Armata seems to have diagnosed it well. The apartment players met no resistance, so they feel that if we can just peek and not be fired at, then I'm thinking we should probably just walk into A. All 5 CTs now are at B, convinced that it's just a slow play, convinced that maybe they're just taking their sweet time, but this is like 2 completely very, very different trains passing in the night. Like this is rare.
With this much time lapsed, I feel like Mythic should know, okay, they must be going to A, because we would have seen somebody by now.
We'll see a bomb plant in a second, and you'll see all the ants scurrying out of B. They're already moving. It's time to run. 3 coming down, Banana moving toward mid, and 2 moving through CT spawn to library and to speedway. I don't anticipate a full-on retake attempt so much as many exit attempts. Rob is the first to try, and he is shot down in the library. The guy sees Lightworker moving around the corner, can't control the Gallo just enough. But we may see... Oh, look at that. Mark comes around, steals a gun, and that is the strip that they were looking for. Now Doom, the next, is being challenged, engaged, and dropped by Abe. This is a almost there you go. Almost a successful exit attempt.
Did he get the gun? He did get the glue. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
So they forced 2 rebuys, picked up a gun. Not too bad. Probably could have gone a little bit better. I mean, obviously, had Armata decided to go to B, I think it probably would have gone better for Mythic. You know, they went for that gamble stack, which didn't work out for them. So 2 different approaches we saw. We saw Armata going for the push, get it over with type rounds, and then you see Mythic going for the gamble stacks, and they're doing it once again.
It may be one of those days where Armata and the T side find that their unenviable side is the advantageous side. How many times have we seen recently where our opinions completely flipped about maps being T-sided? Train, when you're watching NIP, apparently is T-sided.
Yeah, Train is...
Oh, no! Friendly fire. Nade drops right at the feet of Doom. Will do a little bit of damage here, and he walks out while Blind picks up a kill on Abe, and is pretty pleased with himself because he's not quite sure where that guy was. So a flash to blind the corner. It's another full B stack. Well, we did it last round and nobody walked in, so maybe it'll work this round. Maybe. Just kidding.
Yeah,
all of Armata
is
in
there. Yeah.
Yep, they're calling them over, guys. They're doing the same thing again. Let's get this bomb planted, shell up, cut off the retake locations, and this time let's not lose so many people. Let's make sure that we take up the choke points and get ready to trade.
And this is actually really good for JS. If he's been planning to get that op on round 4, I mean, he's got a clear shot. I mean, he didn't die last round and he saved again, so he'll have plenty of money for that. Actually, he's defending right there. He stares by himself with the CZ, and he actually did go down, but he should still be fine.
A short exchange between BTZ and Lightworker goes the way of the terrorist side, and Rob is the last. He has a CZ, which is very strong, just not when you get aim punch like that. 10-8, and Armata has taken back its lead.
They have, and I was expecting to see an op, and then he goes and betrays me and buys an AK-47. So, no ops coming out. Actually, we do see an op from Lex. CT-sided op. I'm wondering if he's going to play Banana with that or go for the aggressive peek in mid.
I would love for the yellow pick.
He's going for the pick. I'm going to go to his perspective.
We see him scope, sees nothing. I think he may have seen the bomb go back down the stairs, so he knows the location of their holding, but that doesn't do a whole lot of good considering nobody wants to push that far. We go back to our friendly director and see exactly where everybody else is. Doom and company are waiting perhaps for the trade, looking for VTZ, excuse me, not VTZ, looking for Lex next time. He's back at the arches this time with his op because we saw him buy it. And funny enough, we didn't really see Mythic's locations, their play locations, because they had spent so much time stacking bomb sites lately. VTZ will see the art side player, perhaps. Rob, as he retreats back without the support of his player. Lex misses the opportunity to trade, comes back out for a second peek, and not against players of this caliber. You're not going to get away with that. So he gets bursted down with a nice controlled 4 burst. 3 alive for Mythic, and they need to get there early. I cannot emphasize how important it is. If you want to retake, you need to get there early to get a couple of extra kills, and that's not the way it's done. Lightworker finally gets a kill on the round and then is traded with 1 alive, 1 on 3. I'm seriously doubting whether or not Mark wants to try this. He looks like he's going to. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, so I mean, Mythic setup right there. They had Lex go for the aggressive pick mid. He didn't see anything, and then they backed up and played the passive look in A, and they sat there too long, I think, and they let the terrorists establish their presence in the apartments, and then after that, they decided to go try to peek up mid, which, in my opinion, was a mistake. If you're gonna go for the passive approach, stick with the passive approach, or, you know, just peek the corner. Don't push up all the way into the apartments, because, I mean, the terrorists probably already have control of it. And you saw the Opper at Archway. He also got picked off by VTC. I mean, they were nice entry kills by VTC, so I'm not trying to discredit him. But also, Mythic, if you're going to go for that passive approach, stick with it.
Prognosis by Clay is stick with your plan. I'd like to point out something. Your prediction is now ruined.
It is. It's
Armata's
been ruined for a little while now, so.
Yeah. We're going to see 3 players, perhaps, or just 2, pushing into the apartments. Abe will support and be ready to trade his P250 wielding teammate. They're going to look down the apartments. Nobody's there. Here's the push down. The banana first kill is Doom. And the next could have been the guy, but Abe gets tagged to the point where he doesn't want to try that again. Lex still holds the corner, and the guy's ready to pre-fire, so that was not necessarily a great push. Still, punished. 1-1 on the trade. They think Abe had the chance to still surprise the guy there because he wasn't sure whether or not it was him alone. So he comes in very, very carefully, drops a gun, and allows Rob to pick it up. Robulus is aggressive enough to make sure that's not used against them, and the retake is going to just slowly fall apart now. So with Mark alive coming through the moto without really a realistic chance of clutching, he's going to go for the YOLO play. No good. Armata's lead is building to the point where maybe Mythic can't catch them.
Yeah, I mean, this round is going to be a big one for Mythic because they are going to full buy here, and they should have the losing bonus actually going in favor of them. So I mean, I think they could probably do a light buy next round, but
Scar.
It's going to be close. Rob
And
going with the Scar, and I think he's been playing A. Yeah, he has been. So I'm wondering where is he going to use that? Because last time it was Lex trying to go for the aggressive peek. Is he just going to hold the truck corner? It looks like
this is a very close corner to hold a Scar. So you've seen Complexity do this in the past, where you have somebody like a Sempus, not nothing, but Sempus at this corner with the Scar to play very far back and look only at the boiler. And that means on the other side, your arch side player is actively wow. The guy comes out pre-firing, hits Rob before he's even able to get off his second shot. He walks out with 37 HP, but considering the trade, it was an auto sniper. That's a success. Look at the boost and the sight. Armata wants to look and gather some information from the new box, and they successfully have navigated probably the most threatening traps of the round. So set smoke to seal off the connector, and the library will act as a fake. These players who are moving through to the speedway are intended to be a flanking force. Lex won't let them pass, and Lightworker knows with one player here, this may be a fake. And this could be a huge pivotal round for them if they can just stay disciplined, hit their individual shots, because with these smokes, they're fighting in small silo teams. They have to do them themselves, and they have to do all the work themselves. Stepped out, transfers away. I'm not quite sure what Mark, he maybe heard a ghost or something looking to his left, but at least he does the job of doing the 1 kill. So Lex and Abe versus the guy, and he's who will follow for the remainder of the round as he goes back into the construction. I'm impressed at Mythic's composure, and I'll tell you about it, or maybe you can tell me about it after the round. Bomb beeps, and we're looking for the guy. Our number 2 steps out. He's looking for players, controls his AK enough to bring down Lex. Flashes, knows there's a player on the defuse, and Abe might go for the commit. Abe may be getting this. He's got the defuse, and Mythic is back in this just in time.
Yeah, you talked about their composure. I mean, when they got the entries over at A, and then through the fake smokes towards Archway connector, I mean that could have caused a rotate from Mythic from B, which would have made the site much easier for Armata to take. But you see, they actually stuck with it because you had Lex playing in the Moto position, and he didn't see anyone coming through. So it was good communication between the team, and he actually picked up a kill. So I mean it was just a great job all around by Mythic.
Had it been a lesser team, Lex would have been rotating through to that archway, get shot in the back, and he would have been a complete fodder for the round and been a total waste. Maybe a two-man trade here. Abe picks up the guy and Samrock. It looks like Mythic's mojo might be back from the first half. I credit that round to Lex's composure, even though he only got the one kill. Romulus and VTZ will join up again. They have to use their numbers now to try to overwhelm a bomb site because on the one-to-one trade, there's 4 to 3, and they want to try to make sure that the bomb site that they choose to enter has likely less players. So they'll choose bomb site B, and I think this is the right choice. Let's take a look at what they'll have here. 2 smokes, 4 flashes, 6 flashes. The VTZ will just join them. Flash to the corner. Excuse me, a smoke for the corner. And Lightworker just backs out. Flashed in, and Romulus himself is flashed. Mythic looks like they're poised to bring this to a sudden and abrupt ending. 12 to 10, the gap is closing.
It is. The money is still good for Armata. You see Romulus has 10K and everyone else is sitting at about 5, so I mean they're going to be good to buy, and they should be good for, they might have to save next round. I think Romulus will be the only one, along with Samrock, who can, or no, sorry, the guy who can buy. But, I mean, if they get a bomb plant, then they all should be good, or win, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Mythic is doing a great job at holding the sites down. I mean, they're holding their angles and getting the kills, getting the trades that they need to. Whereas before, Armata was just hitting entries, and they weren't even really using smokes to their advantage. Honestly, the first time we saw the smokes was in that last round the round before last, where they did the fake. They tried to get that fake going.
Pace change here. Romulus is already out the balcony, 2-2, and the blood is spraying everywhere. All of Armata is mostly dead now as they ran in and kind of met the gears of Mythics. I heard your analysis, and I want to get to it, but the change of pace, I think it was just a let's try it because nothing's working for us, and I can't think of anything. Let's go with the change of pace. The speed play to the porch side is an easy way for a porch player to just ruin your day.
It is. I mean, It is different, though. I mean, they've been taking it slow for the most part, so, I mean, that change of pace, it could have worked. And they actually probably could have bought here. I think Romulus could have bought for the people with low money, but they're actually opting to save. So this could be a time for Mythic to tie it up right now.
It could be, and Lex knows. He's probably done the math, and this is a charge down mid. They've siphoned off the left side, which is alternate mid, and Abe can hear footsteps. One on top of the hay bale won't escape his wrath as he looks up to see the silhouette of his player. Romulus will be flanking, though, and he has a chance, just the barest of chances, to trade and pick one extra, but he doesn't. He'll go down. That leaves the guy by himself, the number 2 in the apartments, and knows where Lex is. Easy kill. Can't pick up the gun without risking being seen. He knows where the bomb is, and now he's just fighting his own private guerrilla war. I think he may have just hit Rob. I think he did. No, never mind. In the pit, in that underpass that we can't necessarily name, is Lightworker. Suddenly, Clay, we have a game. We've got a really good game.
We do, and we're going to be seeing a buy round right here, so this is going to be a big round for both teams, and they actually called for a pause just now, so...
Thank you. There's so much analysis that we've had to gloss over because the action is just so fast. Can we rewind 2 rounds? When Armata was on their slide and they couldn't figure out how to pick up a round, they went to speed. Was that the right call?
It wasn't necessarily a bad call just because they've been playing so passively this whole time. I mean, maybe doing speed towards A might not have been the right call. If they would have gone towards B, it probably could have turned out better for him. Just because, especially truck side, you have the guy who plays truck and then you have someone playing apartment. So that's 2 people watching that lane. So it probably wasn't best to go that way. They could have also gone arches, maybe picked up that guy and then taken that wrap to B for speed. But I mean, changing it up to speed isn't always a terrible thing, especially when you've been playing passive the whole half. So
now I don't want to presume to know exactly what Armata's thinking, but if they've done their scouting, I can't be certain about this, but Mythic seems like they're playing their port side player without peeking. He's either in the apps or just by blue and only looking at the boiler. Somebody could slide out and go one-to-one solo pick the arch side player, and they'd have a very wide open lane for entry for at least a wrap. I would really like to see that, because it seems like it's the last avenue of recourse, with the exception of set pieces, which Armata doesn't really do set pieces. So this seems like a good opportunity.
That's essentially what they were doing at the beginning of the half. You saw, I remember VTZ, you know, he slid up mid by himself and worked, you know, truck and then archway and picked up 2 kills, and, you know, that kind of got the ball rolling for him, and they were kind of doing it, but as the half progressed. But now, yeah, like you said, they kind of stopped, and they're kind of, it seems like they're kind of getting flustered and trying to still figure out what they need to do to stop Mythic from coming back here.
Looks like everybody's mumble or just voice chat solutions have been fixed, and everybody who is sitting in the audience with a bet right now is thinking that this should have been easy money. Now they have their teeth grinding their lower lip, being like, what is happening? Why can't this be easier? 2-3 on the split for the T's, and they'll play a little bit off with Romulus protecting the push from the windows. They know they did it last half, so they don't want it to happen to them this half, and they'll walk in. I think that smoke was by the CTs, and it blinds Romulus. They'll want to do a 3-man look, probably 1 balcony, 1 boiler, 1 from the bracket mid area, and then assign maybe 1 man to look for that far flank and have somebody join from the banana. The bomb is intended for A, and it is picked up, almost picked up now. Doom is being a distractionary force over at banana. 2 players in B are pushed up very close, Lightworker and Mark. Oh, we do have the set piece, and the Caster's Curse apparently works on strats too, so the moment we say they don't do it, they'll throw the smokes, and they'll throw them for Arch and Library. Flash is over, Lex is blind but not panicking, stands strong at the moto, and he's really not impeded. If he hits an early shot and he doesn't, he would have done massive damage to his entire strategy. Abe is still at the pit. He's not smoked out. They needed to throw a smoke here for them to actually try that strat, and that was a missing component that dooms Armata's round.
Yeah, I mean, that's the second time we saw that smoke, and it seems to be the only smokes that Armata has opted to throw so far, is throwing that arch side smoke and then trying to take arch, which, I mean, Lex did a good job defending. He didn't trade anyone out, but he did get 2 people down, I believe, to about 50 or lower, and so, I mean, that just made it easier for the guy playing pit to pick up those kills. And actually, I was thinking during that round right there, I saw Mythic was playing that passive approach at A, and I was thinking, okay, we'll see if they actually go for the aggressive peaks again, because that's what they did previously, and they got punished by Armata for it. But you see, if they stick with the passive approach, then Armata has to come to them, and they just got to sit there and hold their angle, so it's a lot easier for them to defend.
I would personally love to see Armata do that again, and if they're going to do it again, they would need somebody to jump the balcony and bonsai the pit, or they need to smoke the pit, one or the other, and it would be a perfect success, because really, that was well thought out. It was the way to do it, and they just missed one critical element.
Yeah, and they're establishing apartment control pretty much every round, because you know, Mythic is playing that passive look, and so like you said, they could have had someone in the apartments to flank that guy as he was looking towards Moto.
Well, we see a smoke at bomb side B, so the bomb that was trying to travel in here, it's going to be a wrap through Speedway, and Lex is ready this time. This time, transfers his spray to his second, double, and now the remaining components of Armata's team try to walk into B through smoke, which is never going to work if Mark is staring right at your face. A double, maybe a triple. Lightworker joins the fray. 14-12 is our score, and Mythic is starting to pull away.
Yep, and like I said, it seems like Mythic is just having, I'm not Mythic, Armata is just having trouble figuring out what to do now that Mythic isn't playing those aggressive peak spots in mid. The smokes, they seem to not have, you know, the known smokes for all of A, where, you know, they can smoke off truck side, and honestly, they haven't been using smokes at B for the most part. So I mean, they're lacking a little bit in terms of nade placement.
We have a push down mid. They think they're saving, and this could work in favor of Armata. Still, the ambush has worked. VTZ is only traded Abe. Rob picks up the next. Through smoke picks up Samrock. So 2 alive for Armata, and this tie point is almost gained by Mythic by a default. So the guy is the only one left. He's seen his bomb dropped by his teammate out in alternate mid. He comes back to find Lex, picks up the kill, but walks away with 47 HP. Unlikely for him to win, but we'll still follow him in case he does what exactly we all want, which is save this round and send this game even deeper into the 30 rounds. I I can't help but feel that they should have won this round. Armata should have won this round because they had the guns, they had the surprise quotes buy, and Mythic ran right into them.
Well, I don't think Mythic was actually 100% bent on or sold on them saving. I think Mythic is just one of those teams that likes to push occasionally, and I mean, it works out for them. I actually like when you see the A players push, because normally you get you know, the banana players pushing, but A, you could actually get a smoke off on the alternate area, or you could even smoke off main mid and push alternate. So I mean, there's two different options that you could push. So I mean, it's nice to see a team you know, utilizing the A push every now and then.
We have a dogfight here on our hands, and this is a fun one to watch to close out our regular season. 15-12 is your score. Mythic sits on the game point. We have buys from both teams, though a little bit light in the pants is the utility belts of the terrorist force. Only one smoke remaining and 4 flashes. Oh, excuse me, 3 smokes. Those, they're just hidden from me. And they'll try bombsite B this time with a single lurker. Romulus out at mid on the other side of the smoke. The action is happening at B now. It looks like Mark has picked up the first. BTZ the next, and Lightworker trades 2-2 in a flurry of kills. Lex is the first rotator. He's beyond the smoke, and I don't know if anybody notices this. If he walks right through, he's going to have 2 easy ones that maybe they were not prepared for. The guy sees him, forces him away from the corner. 3-on-3, and Armata fights to save their entire half here. And look, oh, we're going to get a log boost. Or not. Mythic decides that this is just not worth their time. They'll flash in with Emo and Nubox as the defensive strongholds for the remaining teams. Samrock needs to get out lest he be burned alive. 1 versus 2. The guy holds on, sees the committed diffuser, hears him at least, and tries to clutch the round, which he will not. That ends the game. Mythic has won at 16-12. You're watching CEVO TV. I am Cotton. My partner is Flops. It's just a one-off this evening, guys. You have